What's up, Jimmie The G-Him here with your 2018 NFL mock draft. That is what I would do if I was the general manager of each team. I got my big board ready, looking at all the prospects as I rank them or value them. And being the general manager for each team, of course you would not go 1 through 32 how players are ranked on your big board, but you will pick for that team need. And being up first, the number 1 pick of the draft, I put on my general manager hat for the Cleveland Browns, and I select my best quarterback in the draft. That's Baker Mayfield out of Oklahoma. Baker Mayfield, throughout any metric, any analytical stat you want to look at, he's the top rated quarterback in this year's class. But it goes beyond that. When you're talking about Mayfield as a player, he has that factor that he can use his legs, he can improvise, he can make plays, and he has arm strength to make all the throws. He had one of the highest miles per hour reading at this year's combine as far as his velocity on his throws. So I think he checks all the boxes that you want in a quarterback. Some might question his character or attitude, but you look at Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady, those guys, they really hate to lose, and that's what I see out of Baker Mayfield. He hates to lose. Moving on to the second pick of the draft, we have the New York Giants, and with the New York Giants, I will select Saquon Barkley, running back out of Penn State. Now, the Giants, some may think a quarterback will be a worthy addition to that team. I think Eli is serviceable and above serviceable as long as Odell Beckham is on the squad. And me being a general manager for this draft, I'm not planning on trading Odell Beckham. I just give Eli another weapon for that offense that really suffered last year without Beckham in the lineup at receiver. But running back has been sort of a sore spot for the Giants for a few years now. And I think Barkley, even if he isn't the home run threat or home run success story as some of the previous rookies we've seen at running back, I think his versatility alone will add to that offense, being able to catch the ball out of the backfield. Staying in New York, going across town to the Jets. With the number 3 pick, I return to the quarterback well and select Josh Rosen out of UCLA. When you look at the quarterbacks on the Jet roster, you look at McCown, you look at Teddy Bridgewater, those guys are sort of heady guys. Josh McCown had a very decent year last season. You sort of see the things the Jets want to do on offense. They want to be smart with the ball, and they want quarterbacks to be able to execute an offense in a said manner. Not necessarily you passing the ball 40 times a game, but if it dictates that, you'll have a quarterback that can make the right throws to stay on schedule and to move the chains. I think Josh Rosen is this guy in this year's draft that fits that. Excellent anticipation he throws with, just being able to throw guys open and just having a thorough knowledge of what he wants to do offensively. Going to the number 4 pick, we return to Cleveland. We already selected for the Browns Baker Mayfield out of Oklahoma at that number 1 spot. So what should we do now? Barkley is off the board. That would have been a real nice pick right there. I think if I'm Cleveland, and I am in this edition of the top 10 picks of the NFL draft this 2018. I think I'm going to trade down. I'll look at the available teams who I'm also general manager of and see who wants to jump up to number 4 and possibly grab a quarterback. I settle on Arizona, who's picking at 15. I make the swap. All sides agree. Arizona moves up to number 4. Cleveland falls back to 15, and with some additional picks in the later rounds, and as well as next year. But with the 4th pick for the Arizona Cardinals, I would select Josh Allen out of Wyoming. I think Josh, he's sort of a prospect that is very polarizing. Where do you fall at on the Josh Allen debate? A bust or a potential superstar? I think his arm strength alone will give him a floor that's a little higher than what maybe his play showed in college. As some of the things he was inconsistent with, and his feel of the game might not be as developed as some of the upper other upper echelon quarterbacks that you've seen throughout the years. But he sort of reminds me of better. You can arguably with the stats, it's a debate, but he was more consistent on film than Josh Allen has been. But I think that arm strength is a key indicator that this guy, even at a floor type level, will be able to make some plays in the NFL, and he will be a threat in the NFL. I really liked his Senior Bowl performance in the game. The practice week was up and down, but in the game he really excelled. And if he can do that in that environment, I know it's sort of base plays from the defense, but if he can do that, getting together with teammates, just 1 week spending time together, and he can perform that well, I think he can do good things if a coaching staff really took time to develop him and do or play to his strengths. All right, we go to the 5th pick of the draft, the Denver Broncos. What are we going to do with Denver? I sort of like my defense, like my secondary, like the trade of Aqib Talib. I like my pass rushers. I think we got serviceable receivers. Case Keenum should fill a quarterback spot this year and hopefully next year as well. So I'm going to do something to improve the running game and draft Quenton Nelson, the guard out of Notre Dame. I think big problems with Denver's offense, of course, has been the quarterback play, but I think if you can have a strong running game, that will help the quarterback play. And now you got a guy you believe in Case Keenum, and I haven't quite given up on Paxton Lynch, so I won't get the quarterback, but I will get Quenton Nelson out of Notre Dame to be able to open up some holes and become a force on that offensive line. I know Connor McGovern is a guy that the Broncos is high on, but he can still fill the role as a utility guy and maybe one day take over as center. All right, moving on to the 6th pick in the draft, and I'm the Indianapolis Colts. It would have been nice to have Quenton Nelson available. I think that would be a very smart decision for a coach, but since I just took him at 5 with Denver for the Colts, I'm looking to trade down, and I want to know if anyone is interested in a quarterback prospect who many thought would be the top pick in the draft, trading up to number 6 and getting him. And I find an interested trade partner in one New England Patriots. The Patriots have 2 first-round picks. I'm only going to ask for the number 3 overall selection, as well as a second-round pick this year and a first-round pick next year, to do the swap with New England, and New England trades up. And with the Patriots, I will select Sam Darnold, quarterback out of USC. Now, I'm not the biggest Sam Darnold fan in the world. As evident, I've already drafted 3 quarterbacks in front of him. And that doesn't necessarily mean he's my 4th favorite quarterback. But since I am the general manager of New England and I trust my team in developing quarterbacks, whether it be Bill Belichick or Josh McDaniels, I'm going to pick a guy who I feel has some skills to be a very good NFL quarterback. My problem with Darnold is his inconsistencies. Just he is sometimes trying to play hero ball and make the big play and turning the ball over. I think he's a pro-type quarterback who played in college. Thus, he's going to look more refined on some of the things he does. But I think of almost a lot of other teams, it would be a problematic transition for him because you got faster and better defenses in the NFL. And he just have to play a little more under control. In some ways, he reminds me of Jameis Winston. You never know what you're going to get. Might get 2 interceptions or 3 touchdowns depending on the game. But I'm confident that the Patriots will work those issues out, and I make him the 6th pick in this NFL mock draft. All right, moving along to the 7th overall selection. That'll be made by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as I am their general manager now. And I will select defensive back, safety out of Florida State, Derwin James. I think James has potential to be an impact player right away. He has the physical tools and he has the knack for making plays to lead me to that conclusion. I look at Tampa Bay, look at their defense, particularly the secondary. You got Brett Grimes, who always seems to play above his stature. You have Vernon Hargreaves, who's been sort of a disappointment, drafted a couple of years ago out of Florida. Ryan Smith, I think he's a good corner, up-and-coming young corner. You drafted the safety out of Texas A&M last year, Justin Evans. I will pair Derwin James with Justin Evans, and I'm hoping to create a secondary that will be able to stand up to the pass and make some plays. In the NFL, you got to take something away from the opponent, either their ability to throw the ball or their ability to run the ball. That take one thing away, that will make it easier to play the other aspect of either rushing or passing. So that's what I'm going to do with Tampa Bay. I'm going to build my defense through the secondary, and hopefully that helps with pass rush, and hopefully we'll be able to stop teams from passing in key situations. Now moving on to the number 8 pick overall, we have the Chicago Bears, and as their general manager, I'm going to select Vita Vea out of Washington, the big defensive lineman. Now, a lot of people see him as a nose guard type, but in the Bears 3-4, I think I might play him at the defensive end, opposite Akeem Hicks. Big Fangio 3-4 defense. I want to continue to put pressure on the quarterback, and if I can do that with my down lineman, if I can play like a one-gap scheme similar to what you've seen over with the Rams and the Texans over the past few years, if I can do that, that will only help my outside linebackers with their pass rush. I think Vea is a very good impact player on the line with his size, being able to run 5.1 at the combine, and his quickness. I think he will cause extra attention among opposing offensive lines. So that's my pick for the Chicago Bears. Now moving to pick number 9, we only have 2 more picks left in part 1 of this edition of the 2018 NFL mock draft, looking at what Jimmie The G-Him would do if I was the general manager for each team. We have the San Francisco 49ers picking at 9, and similar to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think I'm going to try to strengthen an area that we've already spent some money on and try to make my defense have a personality. For the 49ers, I'm drafting Denzel Ward, cornerback out of Ohio State. I think Ward is the best cornerback in this year's draft. He makes plays on the ball. He very sticky in coverage. He can play the slot, can play the outside. And initially, for the 49ers, that's where I'm going to have him at slot. I know we have the big free agent acquisition of Richard Sherman. If Sherman have to miss any time with injuries, I'm very confident in Ward sliding out to his cornerback spot. That'll give you a good duo with Akello Witherspoon. And also, K'Wan Williams really played well in the slot for the 49ers last season. The addition of Denzel Ward bumps him to the 4th corner, dime back. And once again, if you get any injuries, he can move up to the slot as well. So I think with the safeties you have in Jaquiski Tartt and Jimmy Ward, those guys made Eric Reed sort of dispendable this offseason. I think 49ers can have an impact secondary, and thus their defense will improve overall. They already spent money on draft picks on their defensive line. I think they have a secondary to match, and it'll be a very tough proposition going against the 49ers defense. All right, here's the last pick of part 1 of the NFL mock draft. This is Jimmie The G-Him, and this is what I would do if I was the general manager of each team. We have the Oakland Raiders picking at number 10, and unlike the 49ers and Buccaneers, I think Oakland can stand to spend some more time with talent in a secondary just to make it the Raiders defense. Pair him on the upper side of Jaire and Conley. pick out of Ohio State the Raiders invested in. And I think you'll have a very good cornerback duo, Alexander, much like Ward, probably even more so. His playmaking ability really stands out. He had a down 2017 because of injuries and games missed. But you look at his 2016 season, he was making plays all over the field. He can play the ball, doesn't give up catches easily, always fighting to knock the ball out of the hands of the receiver. He also can make plays on the ball and do something with it afterwards, with picking up yards after interception. And is also a very good special teams player as a punt returner. I think Alexander would be the pick for the Raiders. If I'm the GM, going to start to build that defense back up. Get Khalil Mack some help as far as the time he has to get to the quarterback might be extended. And trust John Gruden will fix that offense. All right, there you have it. Jimmie The G-Him with part 1 of this NFL mock draft. What I would do if I was the general manager of each team. Now stay tuned for part 2.